Hey guys! Anyways, so today I'm going to be answering a lot of questions about being 17 and pregnant. I didn't know how to start this video at first. I was really afraid. Not afraid, okay, I wasn't afraid. I didn't have any motivation to make these videos. But I put up a little question thing on Instagram and got a lot of questions from a lot of people. Some of them were my friends, some of them I've never met before. But it was nice knowing that people do have questions about this. And it's nice knowing that I can answer them. Well, sort of, I'm going to try to answer them. But I do want to say that a lot of the questions were sort of similar. So if I didn't answer your question, it's probably because, well, I'm answering your question through somebody else's question. Because I don't want this video to be like an hour or 2 hours long. So, anyways, another thing is that I noticed a lot of questions were like how it happened and stuff. And like, I don't know what you want me to say, like how it happened. Like, I mean, it just happened. Anyways, okay, so let's just get into the first question. So, a lot of people asked the same question. It was I happy to find out about being pregnant? So, okay. When I first found out, I was with my sister, we were in the bathroom, I took the test, and like at first it was just funny to me. Like before I found out I was pregnant, it was like a joke, sort of, like it was kind of like, no, you know, I'm not, but let's do it anyways to see, because my boyfriend was the one who got me the test and was like, yeah, we should take it, whatever. And prior to that, I did take a morning after pill, or whatever you call it, Plan B, whatever. I did. So it was kind of like, in my head, I'm like, no, because I already took the pill, whatever. And then when I saw the test came back positive, I looked at my sister, and like I was on FaceTime with my boyfriend, Garen, and we just like, it was quiet for a minute. And then my sister was like, oh my god, like, you're pregnant. And I was like, no. Like, I was in denial. So then I took another test. And then I took a couple more tests. And it just kept coming back positive. So to answer that question, if I was happy, clearly in the beginning I didn't want to believe it. But I don't want to say I was happy because, okay, I didn't ruin my life, but I did put my life on hold, and I had a lot of things I wanted to do before I got pregnant, of course. But, you know, things happen for a reason, and clearly this is a big reason. So I feel like me being pregnant kind of helped me in a way, because I feel like before I was very, you know, I was a kid, I was immature, I was childish, I didn't really care about certain things. But then once I got pregnant, I started doing a lot better in school. Not better, but I worked harder because I wanted to finish for her and stuff. So I wasn't happy, but I wasn't upset either. Like, I was sad because, you know, I'm young. Who wouldn't be sad if it wasn't planned? But I mean, I'm happy now. I'm really excited. I can't wait for her to be here. Just in the beginning, it was hard. It was like, I didn't know what to feel, because I feel like I messed up, and I feel like I disappointed my parents, especially because I know they had a lot of big dreams and stuff for me, and they knew that I could do a lot more than this, but this is my life now. Anyways, so no, I wasn't happy when I found out. I was just confused. But then I grew to be happy about it and stuff. So anyways, second question. It says, what do I do if I think I'm pregnant but I'm scared to tell anyone? So that's how I felt when I found out I was pregnant. of course my sister and my boyfriend already knew because they were there in that moment. But telling my parents, well, telling my mom, I was like, I couldn't do it. I was so afraid. I knew she would be upset. Like, I knew she wasn't gonna be mad, but I knew she would be hurt by it because I am her youngest daughter, and I know she probably just felt some type of way. Like, I didn't want her to feel like she didn't do a good job as a mom, because she did. She does do a good job and stuff. But I was mainly afraid to tell her, and I feel like if my sister wasn't there that day with me to push me to tell her, I probably would have taken a longer time to tell her. But anyways, so if you think that you are pregnant, first, of course, take a test and figure that out. And then if it does come back that you are pregnant and you don't know how to tell anyone, like your parents or your guardian or whoever, start off by telling someone you're really close with. Like, for me, other than my sister, it was my cousin, my second oldest cousin. I told her, like, right off the bat, I told her what happened, and she was like trying to help me out and stuff and supportive. And so then from there it got easier to bring it up. So you just need to figure out how, not how you're gonna say it, but just figure out what you want to do first, whether you want to have a baby, whether you don't, whether you feel like you're ready or not. Like, you just need to figure out a lot of those factors first before you go and spread your business, because it is your business and you don't have to tell anyone if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable. But if you feel like you need somebody to help you with that, then I would say your parents, of course. But that's up to you. It's really depending on if you want to have a child young. I don't really know how to answer that because I was afraid to tell my mom. But then I gained the courage all in that same day to tell her. So it's kind of like, it depends on how you are with your family too. If you have a good bond with them or not, to be able to tell them. So, yeah. Anyways, the third question is, have I mentally prepared myself to give birth? No, not really. Like, I've been trying to tell myself, like, oh, I'm gonna do it naturally, because that's what I really want to do. I don't want to have any medication in my system. I just want to do it all natural. But at the same time, I don't know how that's going to be, and I'm a really tiny person, and so I just know it's going to be hard. But mentally I'm ready for her to be here, and I'm ready to, you know, step up and take care of her. But I'm really afraid of everything that I've heard, like, about the ripping, about C-sections, about, you know, all the pain you're gonna be in, and then those hours, like, depending on if the baby wants to come right away or not. Like, people can be in the hospital for literally almost a whole day, and the baby just still wouldn't, until they would have to induce their labor. So that's what I'm really afraid of, is if she decides, like, she wants to come later than what she should. I know that's going to be painful and stressful, and I'm going to be overwhelmed. But then if she wants to come, like, really fast, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that either. I don't know. I know I'm going to be scared. I know I'm probably going to cry a lot, because one, that's going to be painful, you know. It's a whole human coming out of you. So I don't know. I don't think I'm mentally prepared for it, honestly. Fourth question is, what was my first reaction? So my first reaction, I feel like I kind of explained that with the "was I happy about it?" But okay, when I was in the process of taking the test, when I sat on the test, I was like, why? Like, I'm literally 17 years old. Why am I doing this right now? Like, I should not be in my bathroom taking a pregnancy test, you know. Like, that right there, I was really disappointed in myself, honestly, and I called myself stupid and everything, because in my head I was like, I should not be doing, like, right now at 17 years old, I should be, like, probably outside with my friends, like going to the mall or something, but I'm sitting in a bathroom taking a pregnancy test on the phone with my boyfriend, and my sister just watching, you know. Like, So my first reaction when it came back positive, it was kind of like I didn't want to believe it at all. I was really like, no, there's no way, like this is not possible, there's no way I can be pregnant, blah blah. But obviously there is a way. So I was just in denial about it, and I didn't want to believe. And then of course in that moment I automatically thought like abortion. I was like, I have to get an abortion. But then, you know, talking to my sister and everything, I realized I didn't have to do that. Like, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this, but it's not the baby's fault, you know. And a lot of people are telling me like, oh, well, it's just like meat, it's not even a baby yet, blah blah blah. And it's like, but to me, whether you feel that way or not, to me, I didn't feel that way. Like, I felt like, yeah, that's a whole human in me, and I don't want to take away that opportunity, because then what if I do that and then later on in the future I do want to have kids and I won't be able to? Like, we never know. So I felt like I didn't want to get rid of her, obviously, especially now that being so, like, I'm in my 3rd trimester, I'm 7 months. I feel like if I would have done that, I wouldn't be where I'm at, if that makes sense. So my first reaction, I was afraid, I was in denial, and I had so many things going on in my head where I felt like, you know, I'm stupid. I felt like I really messed up, which I did, but I didn't. You know? So yeah, my first reaction, I was scared. And then somebody said, how did it happen? So I don't know if they meant like, how did it lead up to me thinking I was pregnant, or how did the whole process go? I don't know what you're asking me. But I just want to say, it was me and my boyfriend being stupid, of course, and one thing led to another, and then I got pregnant, and he was like, you should take a pregnancy test. And we were like, me and him both didn't think I was, because I did take the morning after pill. So we were like, no, there's no way, blah blah blah. But then he bought me the test, I took the test, and then I was like, oh, it says I'm pregnant. And I don't know, I should probably say his reaction too, because his reaction, it kind of confused me, because honestly, I don't think bad of him, of course, I don't. But being young, I would have thought he would have told me like, have an abortion. But he didn't. He was like, okay, well, we need to figure out money, this and that, like, what are we gonna do financially, like, how are we gonna do this? He didn't bash me about it. He didn't tell me it wasn't his. He didn't make me feel like I was gonna be alone and that he wasn't gonna help me. He didn't do any of that. Instead, he was actually very supportive about it, and he still is. He's always talking about how he's really excited to meet her and stuff, you know. So I guess it worked out for us, but not worked out, but it sort of did in a way, because now we're like we bond over that really well and stuff. So I don't know, my reaction, I was scared. Of course he was scared too, but he was more thinking of long term. He wasn't thinking in that moment like, oh my god, you're pregnant. He was thinking, okay, well, we know what happened, we know you're pregnant, so what are we gonna do now? Like, are we gonna, you know, keep it? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to like stay with me? Like, do you want to build a whole little family? Like, what do you want to do? Instead of him being like, oh, you're nasty and that's not mine. He didn't do that, which was good. But anyways, the next question says, was it planned? No, it was not planned. I mean, I don't think any pregnancy is planned, honestly, unless you're older, married, or like, you know, you honestly took out the time to plan that and made a timeline, everything like that. That's different when you do plan it because you're ready for it and you want to have a child, but it's not actually planned. Like, you can't predict when you're gonna get pregnant. You can't predict when that's gonna happen because you're not thinking in that moment. I don't know, but for me and him, it wasn't planned at all. Obviously we're not ready for this because we're kids, but I feel like we're gonna do good, so. Yeah, another question says, how long have we been together? Me and my boyfriend, when we got pregnant, we have only been dating for, I want to say, a month and a half. We weren't dating for that long. We were talking before that, obviously, before we started dating, but then we weren't dating for that long, honestly. So, I don't know. But me and him have been together for almost 8 months. I want to say this month, well, there isn't a 29th this month, but on the 29th, if there was a 29th this month, we would have been dating for 8 months. Yeah, and I'm 7 months pregnant, so you could just do the math in your head. So yeah, we haven't been together for that long. Well, we've been together for long enough, but okay, that sounded wrong too. I don't know how to say that. And then it says, how does it feel? How does it feel to be pregnant? One, obviously it doesn't, okay, how does it feel? It feels weird. Because every day I notice something different about myself. Like I notice things changing, I notice I'm gaining weight. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing weight. Sometimes I feel like I get scared because she wouldn't be kicking. And so then I'm like, okay, is that bad? But then she'll randomly start kicking out of nowhere. You know, so it does feel weird knowing that there's a whole human inside of me, you know, with a heartbeat, and they can hear and see light and everything, and they're just moving around. You know, it actually is it feels nice too, because it's like I'm creating a whole life, and I know that in a couple months literally she'll be here and I'll be able to actually see her and hold her and everything. And I know that I'm just gonna love her so much, because who wouldn't, like, I don't know. So it feels like there's a mix of feelings going on with it, especially because when you're pregnant you have a lot of hormones. And like I feel bad for my boyfriend, honestly, because I feel like sometimes I could be like a lot and I could be irritating and stuff, and I know I probably get on his nerves, but he doesn't bash me about it in a way. Like, yeah, we have our ups and downs, but that's a relationship thing. That has nothing to do with me being pregnant. I don't know, but it's just, I have a lot of different feelings about it, and I know he probably has different feelings too. I know some days he'll wake up like, oh my god, I'm gonna be a dad, and then he'll be like really happy about it. So I don't know what he feels, but I feel different, obviously. I don't know, it's a good feeling though. Does it hurt? There are some days where, okay, it's not that it hurts, but it's really uncomfortable. Like, I'll wake up and my back will be so sore, or like I would be walking down the steps or something and get a random cramp, and then it'll just start hurting. It's more uncomfortable though than hurt. Like, I'm not in pain, like excruciating pain. It's just a lot of uncomfort, and then I feel like everything is stretching. Like, I don't know, like everything feels like it's just expanding, and then it feels so heavy, you know. But it doesn't hurt, like, at all. But then again, I'm only 30 weeks pregnant, so I don't know how it's gonna be later on when it's time for her to come, and like I'm in those couple weeks of about to be in labor, and just I don't know how that's gonna be for me, but I know right now it doesn't hurt like that. Are you scared about giving birth? If so, what part are you most scared of? So, okay, I'm scared about giving birth, but at the same time I'm not, because I know it depends on the baby and whether she wants to come on time, like I said before, whether she wants to come early or not, or whether she wants to come later on. I'm more scared of being, I don't know, like I'm more scared of the contractions than the actual me pushing her out. Like, I'm scared of those feelings before and the feelings after. I don't know. I guess I'm just most scared of I don't know, like I'm more scared of like the ripping, because I heard you rip like a lot, but it depends because some people do and some people don't. Like I'm just scared of like the aftermath. I'm not scared of giving birth. I'm more like I don't know how to explain this. I'm not scared of giving birth. I'm not. I'm afraid of the aftermath because I know that's a lot of pain, and then having to take care of the baby while in that pain is just gonna be hard. I already know. So I guess I have to prepare myself for that, really. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyways, next question says, what's something you wish someone told you about being pregnant or about pregnancy? Oof. Something. Okay, I wish someone would have told me, because my mom did fill me in on a lot of things, so I feel like I'm really educated about it. But I wish they would have told me about all of the different feelings you're gonna have, because yeah, people tell you like, oh, your hormones are all over the place, blah blah blah, but they don't explain like detail of how you're gonna feel. And there'll be days where I'm just like, I'm so full of energy, and then like in the second I'm just, okay, I don't want to do anything, you know. So I wish someone would have told me like how my feelings would change like drastically, like how fast they would change, because my mood is literally always all over the place, and there's like, I literally don't want to do anything sometimes. It's just, I don't know. So yeah, I wish somebody would have told me about how fast my moods would change, because it's not fun having mood swings like back to back to back. Another thing is my appetite. I wish somebody would told me about how like some days I would be super hungry, and then some days I won't. Some days I wouldn't even be hungry at all, but I know I have to eat because, you know, my baby could be hungry. So yeah, I just wish people would tell me about my appetite and my mood swings and stuff like that. Like people told me about it, but they didn't give me details on it, so I felt out of the loop, if that makes sense. Like I didn't know. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, I just wish people would have informed me more about it, given me more information about it, and I probably should just did more deep. Like I probably should have done more research about it. But it's okay. I know now. So, anyways, the next question is, what was your boyfriend's reaction? My boyfriend's reaction. So, okay, I should probably do it step by step so it's more understandable. So when I first told him how I was feeling, like that I felt off and everything, he was like, okay, maybe we should, take pregnancy test. I was like, yeah, maybe we should. So then he bought it for me, which was really sweet. Whatever. So he bought it for me, and of course we were on the phone, and the night before I had took one, because I was like, I want to take one now. And that was the day he bought me the pregnancy test. So I took one that night, and we're on FaceTime, and I told him, like, you know, it came back positive. But he was like, you know, there's always a false positive. Like, you never know, it can be a false positive. So don't, like, scare yourself. Just take another one tomorrow, whatever. And so I was telling him, like, I'm really afraid because, you know, clearly they're supposed to be, like, accurate, like, really accurate. So I was like, you know, what are we going to do? He was trying not to scare me. So he was, you know, joking about it, trying to not stress me out, which I would get mad when he would joke about it, because I'm like, okay, it's like, this is serious. But I just know he was just trying to lighten up how I was feeling. He was just trying to he was just trying to comfort me, you know. Did it in a weird way, but he was just trying to be there for me. Which now I look back at it, I was like, why did I get mad over that? You know, like I should have been laughing with him too. But at the same time, I was right. I was pregnant. But then the next day, when I did take the pregnancy test early on in the day, he was at work, and so we weren't on the phone. I just was kind of messaging him and telling him like, okay, you know, I took this many. I feel like I probably took about maybe 6 pregnancy tests for me, like it took me to take 6 pregnancy tests for me to believe like, okay, yeah, I'm pregnant. But when I told him, he just was thinking long term. That was all he kept saying was long term, like money, financial, like, are we gonna be living together, like what's gonna happen, what do we plan on doing, like, you know, he was just thinking of our options and how we're gonna do this. He wasn't more like I feel like if he would have been freaking out along with me, it would have been like really bad, because then we both would have been really stuck and didn't know what to do. But I was the one freaking out, and I was scared, and I was like sad and afraid, and he was more like, he was just like, well, you know, this is it, like we gotta own up to what we did and figure out how we're gonna fix this, or how we're gonna deal with it, you know, stuff like that. Which to me, it showed me the type of person he is too. It showed me that like no matter what the situation is, he's always gonna have, you know, plans. He's always gonna think about how we're gonna do it, pretty much. Like he's always gonna think long term. He's always gonna think about money. He's always gonna think about who it's affecting. Like he's open-minded when it comes to stuff like that, which is really good to me, because it's like, you know, in the future when our baby is here and we have to make decisions, I know he's going to be an easy person to talk to, and like, you know, it's going to be easier with him instead of us both being like, well, I don't know, like, what are we going to do, you know. So, I don't know, his reaction was good and bad, because it was like, why aren't you taking it serious? But he was taking it serious, but not in the way that I was. You know, like we just weren't on the same mindset at this time. But now, looking back, I see that he was just trying to not scare me, but tell me like, you know, this is our life now, you know, which is good, so that's okay. And now, the last question, the one I was like afraid to answer, and it was my parents' reaction. So, well, it says parents' reaction. I would say mine and his. So, this was just a roller coaster of emotions, and everybody was all over the place. So, I'm gonna start with my mom, because my mom was obviously the second person I told, because it was my sister and then my mom. So, anyways, we walked into my mom's room. First, it took me like almost an hour of trying to gain that courage to, one, tell her like, you know, I'm having a baby. But it was just, anyway, so my sister was like, okay, you know, like we gotta do this, we gotta tell her, we gotta let her know what's going on so she can help you, because you don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, we don't know when you have to see a doctor, so we gotta let her know, because she obviously had, you know, kids, so she knows what to do. So anyways, my sister walks in first, and she's like, you know, we have to tell you something. And so then I walk in after her, and she sits down, and my mom's sitting in the bed, and she's like, what's wrong? Like, you guys are scaring me, like, what is it? And we literally didn't even say anything. I guess it was just a look on both of our face, because we were like preparing ourselves on what to say, how to say it, but then once we got in, like, once we were in her face, it was kind of like we both like choked up and didn't know what to say, and we were so scared. And then she said it. She was like, you're pregnant. I was like, yeah. And then we both started crying, you know, and like, it was just a lot of different things. And then she made me take another pregnancy test, because she wanted to see for herself, like, you know, like, she wanted to mentally be there too, like, okay, wait, you are pregnant type of thing. So then it was just a lot of crying and yelling at each other. Like, she was just not yelling at me, but she was like, she was very disappointed, you know, like, your life, your whole life is ahead of you. You wanted to join the military, you wanted to do this, you wanted to do that, and now you gotta put it on pause because you have a whole baby coming. And like, she was asking me questions of if I wanted to, what I wanted to do, and stuff like that. So it was just a lot. Literally, this whole thing was just about emotions and what I was feeling, what she was feeling, what my sister was feeling. But then the main one I want to say that got to me was my stepdad, because he's one person I did not want to disappoint, because I do look up to him, and I feel like we do have a good bond and everything. So then once he, like, when he came home, because it was like, I told my mom, and she went to go get the pregnancy test that she had in her bathroom. She, like, 2 seconds after my dad walked in to the house, and I was in the bathroom and stuff, and I was just crying because it came back positive and everything. So then my dad was just like, get out of the bathroom, what's going on? Like, he already knew once he saw my mom's face. I'm assuming because I wasn't out when he came in the house. Like, I was in the bathroom when he walked up the steps, so I don't know what happened. But I know he knew, like, automatically. And so then that made me cry even more because I was like, he's the one person I did not want to disappoint. Like, of course I didn't want to disappoint my mom and my real dad and everything, but for some reason my stepdad, I don't even like saying stepdad, like, I don't know, but my dad, I felt bad in a way. Like, I felt really disappointed in myself because I was like, we both had so much, like, planned for me. Like, he was helping me with taking the ASVAB and everything. Like, I wanted to go into the military because he was in the military and, like, all this stuff. So it was just so many things happening all in one day. And then when we called my real dad, I even cried about that too because I was like, I don't want him to be mad, and I knew he was. Like, he wasn't mad. I knew he was upset. I knew he was hurt because he was like, you're my youngest daughter. Well, not his youngest daughter, but my mom's youngest daughter. But I know in his eyes, he was like, you're only, 17, like, you're still a kid. And so it was just like, they were all just thinking about my future. They weren't really thinking about, like, in that moment what was happening. I knew that all they were thinking about was just what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, my future, like, everything like that. So it was like a lot, a train of emotions. And for Garen's parents, I don't know how they reacted because I wasn't around and I wasn't there. And I know my mom called his mom and told her what happened. But I don't know how they reacted. But I know my parents went to talk to them, and then they agreed on stuff. And I don't know, like, afterwards, everybody was really supportive. Like, his parents were really supportive about it. My parents were really supportive. So, in a way, I'm honestly glad that they were the way they were about it. Like, I don't know. I'm happy that they weren't like some other parents, how, like, they would kick their children out, or bash them, or tell them to get an abortion and, like, all this stuff, or make them feel less of themselves. But our parents didn't do that. Our parents were there for us, and they still are there for us, obviously, And but yeah, so it was just a lot of crying, a lot of being really confused, like, how, like, when, where, why, what did you do, like, So I don't know. I just want to say the whole finding out I was pregnant and then being pregnant right now, like, those were two completely different emotions happening. Because when I found out, it was a whole bunch of just being sad and crying, and everybody was just all over the place, like, what are we going to do? But now that we're so far into it and we're just waiting for her to come, I know we're all, like, really excited. We're all going to be really happy. And she's going to be, like, the light of our lives and everything. I don't know. I'm ready for her to be here. I'm excited about it. I don't care what anyone says. I know. And another thing, a lot of people were putting into my questions, which I didn't answer because it's not really a question, it's more of a judgment, like a statement. People were saying, like, why do you plan on having a baby? Like, why didn't you abort her and, like, all this stuff? Like, a lot of the questions were, why didn't I get an abortion? And that, honestly, is kind of stupid to ask someone, because one, is not your business, Even though I'm sharing a lot of this, it's still not your business it's not your place to ask someone that. Two, it's my decision and what I want to do and how I felt about it. And I get it, a lot of people are like, well, you're so young, like, you don't even know the half of taking care of a child, blah, blah, blah. But that's still not up to you to decide, and that's not really your place, like I said. Because even if I just know if I would have gotten an abortion, I probably would have regretted it. Like, I would have been, right now, this time, regretting it. I would have felt, like, really bad and, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have forgiven myself if I did that. So anyways, that's really up to me, whether I wanted to or not. Not anybody else, not even my boyfriend. Like, that's all up to me. Whether I wanted to do an abortion, whether I wanted to do adoption, any of that, that was up to me. But I'm not, and I'm gonna have my baby. I'm gonna step up, and I'm gonna take care of her. And that's it. I mean, like, I don't know what else to tell you. So, I know, I was getting a lot of, like, backlash. Not even, like, I was just being judged, which I knew was gonna happen. Of course, people are gonna judge me, and I'm 17, I'm having a baby. There's no doubt people are gonna judge me. So, my thing is, though, if it's not you and not your life and you're not the one going through it, don't waste your time to sit there and just judge somebody else and make somebody else feel less of themselves, because you're getting nowhere by doing that. So, but that's it for today. I didn't feel like answering a whole bunch of questions, but I answered most of them. I answered what I could. Like I said, I didn't want this video to be really long. I just wanted to answer like what I thought was a good question, what I thought was important. Yeah, so if you guys do want another Q&A about being 17 pregnant, I will, post that. And I also wanted to know if you guys wanted to see after, like, have questions about when she's here, pretty much, like, have those questions, like, I don't know how to explain it, like, just before and after questions. I don't know. So, yeah. But anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody's being supportive, and I just want to thank a lot of you guys for like being there for me and not making me feel less than. I know there's a lot of people who are still trying to like bash me and stuff, but I really don't care. It's my life. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.